Thunder shattered the night sky as Madame Abina Oforwe dragged the maid by her wrist, her gold bangles clinking like chains of judgment. The girl stumbled, falling face first into a muddy compound, rain soaking through her thin uniform. Before she could blink, a sharp slap cracked across her cheek, one that echoed loud enough for neighbors to peek from their windows. Then, with a final roar of rage, the mansion gate slammed shut behind her, sealing her fate in the storm. The rain had turned the street into a restless river, sweeping leaves and debris toward the gutter. But nothing matched the turmoil inside Amasurwa's heart. Her chest rose and fell in broken rhythms. Her hands trembled as she clutched the small nylon bag that held the last fragment of her life. Clothes stuffed carelessly, one slipper missing, and a Bible her late mother left behind. Her uniform, light blue and worn thin, clung to her skin like a second layer of shame. Amma tried to breathe. She tried to think, but all she could feel was pain. "And madam, please." "I did not." A metal bucket crashed as Madame Abina Oforwe kicked aside, her eyes blazing even brighter than the lightning cutting through the sky. She wore a rich wax print cloth wrapped tightly around her waist, her head ties standing tall like the crown of a queen who suffered no disrespect. Her voice sliced through the rain. "Shut up, you ungrateful girl," she spat, pointing at Amma the way one would point filth. "From the day you entered my house, I knew you would bring misfortune. You think I don't see things? You think my eyes are blind? Thief!" Amma's lips quivered. "Madam, I swear on my mother's soul, I did not steal anything." Another slap, this one harder, colder, the kind that didn't just hurt the flesh, it bruised the spirit. Neighbors watched from cracked windows, whispering. They pitied the girl, but none dared interfere. Madame Abina was not someone the neighborhood crossed. She was powerful, rich, feared, and respected by equal measure. "Carry your dirty bag and leave immediately," she shouted, voice trembling with fury. "If I see you around my gate again, I will call the police, and trust me, they will lock you up without second thoughts." The gateman hesitated, just for a breath, but one glare from Madame Abina forced him to slam the gate shut with trembling hands. Boom! The iron bars clicked and locked. Just like that, Amasurwa's shelter vanished. Her trembling knees finally gave way, and she knelt on the cold, muddy ground. Rain poured over her, merciless, relentless, mixing with tears she could no longer control. Her whisper broke through the storm, fragile as a dying flame. "God, why must my life be like this? Why me? What did I do wrong?" No answer, only thunder. She looked at the long, dark street ahead. Puddles shimmered under passing lightning. The road was empty, silent, dangerous. She had no family nearby. Her parents were dead. Her younger brother lived in a small hostel at the university in Kumasi, barely surviving. She had taken the maid job to support him. Now she couldn't even face him with this shame. Amma pushed herself up slowly. Pain shot up her left ankle. Madame Abina had dragged her roughly, and she twisted it against a stone. Still she walked. One step, another. Each one felt like she was carrying cement blocks on her shoulders. Her mind raced. Where will I go? Where will I sleep? What if thieves or worse find me? How do I start again? Her breath quivered as fear tightened around her chest. Just then, headlights pierced through the rain from a distance. Bright, powerful, approaching fast. Amma froze. A sleek black SUV rolled to a stop beside her, the kind of car she'd only seen from afar in the mansion driveway. The back door opened. A tall young man stepped out, unfolding a large black umbrella with practiced ease. Even through the rain, the streetlights reflected off his expensive watch and the clean lines of his clothes. He wore dark jeans and a black hoodie, simple but elegant. He moved closer until he stood directly before her. His voice came calm but filled with concern. "Why are you here, kneeling in the rain?" Amma lifted her head slowly. Her breath hitched. She recognized him. Kweku Ose Mensa, Madame Abina's only son, heir to the Ose Mensa real estate empire. A young billionaire who carried more silence than pride. People said he was kind, yet untouchable. Focused, yet private. A lion who rarely roared. But when he did, people listened. Amma had seen him only twice. First, when he returned from London briefly. Second, when he traveled to South Africa for a business deal. She never expected him to look at her directly, let alone ask why she was in the rain. She tried to stand, but her legs buckled. Before she hit the ground, Kweku caught her, hands firm yet gentle. "You're shaking," he murmured. "What happened to you?" She swallowed hard. "I was sacked, sir." His brows furrowed. "By who?" "Your mother, Madame Abina." Something flickered in his eyes. A flash of anger, but controlled, quiet, dignified. "What did she accuse you of?" he continued. Amma hesitated. The shame burned deeper than the rain. She said I stole her diamond bracelet. Kweku inhaled sharply. "And did you?" he asked, not accusing, just asking. "No, sir. I would never. I didn't even know she owned something so expensive." He studied her face, her swollen eyes, her trembling lips, her uniform sticking to her body from the storm, her bag torn at the corner. And then he said the one sentence she didn't expect. "I believe you." Her breath collapsed. You do?" "Yes." A liar's eyes shift. A guilty person stammers. "But you," he shook his head. "You look like someone who has endured enough pain already. You're not a thief." A single tear escaped Amma's eye. Not from pain, but relief. Kweku removed his hoodie and wrapped it around her shoulders. It was warm, dry, and smelled faintly of cedarwood. "Sir, I can't take this." "You can, Amma." She froze. He knew her name? "Come," he said gently. "You can't stay out here. Get into the car." Amma clasped her bag tighter. "Sir, I don't want trouble. If Madame Abina sees me with you—" "She won't," he interrupted. "And even if she does, I am not afraid of my mother." He opened the SUV door. Amma hesitated. Her fears tangled with gratitude. I don't have anywhere to go," she whispered. "I know," he replied softly, "which is why you're coming with me. You will rest, eat, clean up, and tomorrow we'll solve this." "Tomorrow?" "Yes. Someone framed you, and I intend to find out who." A sharp shiver ran through her body, this time not from rain, but fear. "Sir, please. I don't want to cause problems between you and your—" "Amma," he said, meeting her gaze. "The moment someone lies against an innocent person, a problem already exists." She entered the SUV. The warmth embraced her. Her shivers eased. Her eyelids fluttered as exhaustion washed over her. The engine hummed softly as Kweku began to drive. Amma clutched her bag, staring at her muddy fingernails. After a moment of silence, he spoke again. "I overheard something last week before I traveled," he said quietly. "A conversation about a staff member being set up." Amma's head jerked up. "Set up?" "Yes. I didn't know it was you, but now it makes sense." Amma's pulse quickened. Her eyes stung. She replayed the last few days in her mind. Someone had been watching her closely. Someone had asked strange questions. Someone had been too friendly. Her hands trembled. "There was someone," she whispered. Kweku turned slightly toward her. "Who?" Amma opened her mouth, but the moment was interrupted. A motorcycle rolled up quietly behind them. Its headlights flashed once, twice, a warning, or a threat. Kweku stiffened. "Amma," he said calmly, "don't look back." Her breath cracked. "Sir, what's happening?" "We're being followed." Her heart stopped. The motorcycle's engine growled louder. The rider lifted something metallic under the streetlight. Amma's eyes widened with terror. "Sir, is that—" Kweku reacted instantly. "Get down!" He accelerated sharply. The SUV jolted forward. The motorcycle followed. The rain intensified. Amma's pulse thundered in her ears. Her life, one simple, one predictable, had flipped into something dangerous. Not because she stole anything, but because someone, somewhere, wanted her silence, wanted her gone, and they were willing to chase her into the storm to ensure it. If you were Amma Surwa, would you trust Kweku Semensa, or fear that he also has secrets? What would you do next? The storm raged behind them as the SUV sped to the quiet streets of East Legan, water splashing against the tires like the night itself was trying to swallow them. Alma Sirwa crouched low in her seat, heart thumping so violently she feared it might burst. The motorcycle's headlights flashed once more behind them. "Kweku, sir, what does he want?" Alma whispered, voice trembling. Kweku Ose Mensa didn't answer immediately. His jaw tightened, his eyes sharp as he maneuvered the car through a sharp bend. Rain streaked down the windshield in frantic lines, the wipers barely keeping up. "I don't know yet," he said finally, voice low and controlled. "But I will not let anything happen to you. Sit tight." Another rev, another flash. They were definitely being followed. Alma's breathing grew shallow. "Sir, maybe it is just someone going home." "No!" His tone cut through the air like a blade. "Nobody tails a car like this in a storm." Something twisted in Alma's stomach. She had always lived cautiously, quiet, respectful, hard-working, never drawing attention to herself. She was the kind of girl who whispered apologies even when she wasn't at fault. So why would someone follow her? After a tense minute, Kweku turned abruptly into a residential street lined with palm trees. The motorcycle attempted to follow, but an oncoming truck forced it to slow. Kweku seized the opportunity and swerved into a gated compound. The security gate opened instantly, recognizing the SUV, and closed behind him before the motorcycle could enter. Only then did Kweku finally ease the car to a stop. Alma's lungs collapsed with relief. Her hand shook uncontrollably as she pushed herself upright in the seat. Sir, was he really following us?" "Yes," Kweku said, turning off the engine. "But you're safe now. He can't enter here." Rain continued to hammer the car roof, but Alma barely heard it. Her thoughts spiraled, each fear sharpened the last. Why? Why would anyone follow me? Sir, I'm nobody. I don't have money. I don't have enemies. Alma, he interrupted softly. People with pure hearts often attract enemies without even knowing it. She stared at him, confused. "Come," he said gently. "Let's get you inside." Kweku helped Alma step out of the SUV. His umbrella shielded her from the rain as they hurried toward a tall, serene apartment building within the gated compound. Inside, the lobby smelled of lavender and polish, and soft yellow lights warmed the space. As they entered the penthouse apartment, Alma gasped quietly. The living room looked like something out of a magazine. Glass walls, white leather sofas, a large painting of the Volta River at sunset, and a Persian rug so beautiful she felt ashamed letting her wet feet touch it. "Sit," Kweku said. Alma obeyed, though she perched on the edge of the sofa, afraid to stain it. Kweku returned with a large towel and draped it gently over her shoulders. Then he turned on a small heater and placed it beside her. "You're freezing." Alma clutched the towel tighter, still trembling. "Thank you, sir, but I don't understand. Why are you helping me? Your mother hates me. Your father barely looked at me. I'm just a maid." Kweku sat across from her. "Alma," he said, "I don't care what position you hold in my parents' house. I care about justice. And what happened to you was wrong." Her eyes filled again, this time not just with sadness, but disbelief. "Nobody has ever defended me before," she whispered. "Not since my parents died." Kweku paused, his expression softening. "What happened to them?" Alma looked down at her cold hands. "My father died of a heart condition when I was 8. My mother passed when I was 16, malaria that turned bad too quickly. It was just me and my younger brother after that. I took care of him. I scrubbed floors, washed clothes, sold tomatoes, anything to keep him in school." Her voice cracked. "And then I got the job at your mother's house. It was supposed to be our miracle. A steady salary, a safe roof. But," she swallowed hard, "but Madame Abina always treated me like a stain on her floor. I kept enduring because I needed the money." Kweku's jaw tightened again, subtle but noticeable. "What exactly happened with the bracelet?" he asked. Alma closed her eyes as the bitter memory rose. "It was 3 days ago," she began slowly. "I went to clean Madame's room like usual. I dusted her dressing mirror and arranged her perfumes. I never touched her jewelry drawer. She always kept the key in her purse. That day, she accused me of leaving fingerprints on her mirror. She said my spirit was too eager. Kweku raised a brow. My mother is particular. Alma continued. The next morning, she screamed my name from upstairs. When I ran to her room, she held up an empty jewelry box. She said her diamond bracelet was missing. She searched everywhere and claimed she found the empty box under my pillow. But I never entered her jewelry drawer. Her lips trembled. Sir, I swear I didn't steal anything. I believe you, Kweku said again, this time with a calm certainty that made Alma's heart ache. But someone planted it in your room, he added. Alma froze. Who? Why would anyone do that? Kweku leaned back slowly. Alma, there are things happening in that house that you don't know. She swallowed. Like what? He hesitated. Then, last week, I overheard my mother arguing with someone. She kept saying, I cannot let this girl be the reason my home scatters. At first I thought she meant one of her friends from the Women's Fellowship, but now I suspect she meant you. Alma felt the room tilt. Scatter? Me? But I don't understand. Kweku exhaled deeply, rubbing his palms together. Alma, you may think you are invisible, that you don't matter, but sometimes the quiet people in a house see too much without realizing it. She blinked, confused. What have I seen? That, he said carefully, is what I'm trying to figure out. Kweku stood and walked to a window. Rain drummed against the glass like impatient fingers. Alma, he said quietly, did you ever notice anything unusual about my father? Alma stiffened. You're your father? Sir, he barely speaks to me. He doesn't even look at me. Yes, Kweku said, turning slightly toward her. But did you ever see him staring at you when he thought you weren't looking? Her breath hitched. She remembered something. Something she had buried because she feared what it might mean. Yes, she whispered. A few times. I thought it was just coincidence. He always looked away quickly, like he didn't want me to know he saw me. Kweku nodded slowly. There are rumors, he said carefully, that my father's been unfaithful before. My mother has spent years fighting shadows, afraid another woman might appear. When she saw you, young, humble, beautiful, quiet, I think she convinced herself you were a threat. Alma's hands flew to her chest. But that is not true. I would never. I know, Kweku said, raising a calming hand. But in her mind, she needed a reason for her husband's distance. And you became her target. But the bracelet, Alma whispered, that, Kweku said, was the easiest weapon she could use. No, Alma said suddenly, shaking her head. It wasn't just her. Kweku narrowed his eyes. Who else? Alma swallowed hard. The driver. Kweku blinked. Kwame. Yes. He asked me strange questions 2 days before the bracelet incident. He asked whether anyone in the house had been unusually kind to me, whether I had secrets, whether I had noticed people whispering behind doors. Kweku's expression hardened. Why didn't you tell anyone? Sir, I thought he was just gossiping. Kweku exhaled slowly. Alma, sometimes the smallest questions reveal the biggest conspiracies. Alma's heartbeat raced. So, Kwame planted the box under my pillow? Possibly, Kweku said, but I doubt he was acting alone. My mother is too proud to dirty her own hands. Someone else must have helped frame you. He paused. And the motorcycle rider may be connected. Alma's world spun. If someone framed me and someone followed me, then what did they want from me? Kweku walked toward her. Alma, he said softly, I think they want you silenced. Her blood turned cold. But I don't know anything worth silencing. Sometimes, he replied. It's not what you know. It's what they think you know. She felt a shiver trace up her spine. Sir, what do they think I know? That, Kweku said, sitting again, is what we must uncover before they come back. A long, heavy silence stretched between them. Alma hugged the towel to her chest, her entire body tense. Finally she whispered, Why me, sir? Why must my life always suffer? Kweku watched her with an expression she couldn't read. Not pity, not sympathy, something deeper. Alma Sirwa, he said gently, you may think you're suffering, but I believe something far greater is happening. Sometimes the people who go through the worst storms are the ones' destiny is preparing for a throne they don't yet know exists. She stared at him, stunned. His voice softened. You're not a mistake, and you're not alone anymore. Her throat tightened. For the first time in years, she felt seen. Suddenly, Kweku's phone vibrated sharply on the table. He frowned, picked it up, glanced at the caller ID, and froze. Alma, he said quietly, stay calm. Her heart stuttered. Who is it? He hesitated. Then he turned the phone so she could see it. The caller ID displayed. Kwame, driver. Alma's eyes widened with fear. Answer it, she whispered shakily. Put it on speaker. Kweku did. The moment the call connected, the driver's voice exploded through the room. Frantic, panicked, trembling. Boss! Boss, please. You must listen to me. Something terrible has happened. Kweku stiffened. Kwame, what is going on? Alma clasped her shaking hands. Kwame breathed hard. I didn't mean for things to go this far. It wasn't supposed to be like this. I only did what Madam asked. Alma's stomach dropped. Kweku's brows snapped together. What did my mother ask you to do? He demanded. Kwame sobbed. To plant the bracelet. To accuse the girl. To force her out before she... Before she what? Kweku roared. Kwame's voice cracked. Before she discovered the truth. Alma's head spun. What truth? She shouted. Kwame's breathing turned ragged. But before he could answer, a loud crash echoed through the phone, followed by a muffled scream. Then, silence. Kweku jumped to his feet. Alma, stay here. But Alma grabbed his arm, voice shaking with terror. Sir, what if someone silenced him already? Her words hung in the air like a ghost, and both of them knew she might be right. Do you think Kwame was about to reveal something major, or was he being used as a scapegoat? What do you think the truth is? The apartment felt colder than the rain outside. Alma Sirwa sat frozen on the white leather sofa, her towel clutched against her chest, her breath trapped somewhere between fear and disbelief. Kwame's final scream still echoed in her mind. The loud crash, the sudden silence, the call cutting abruptly. Kwame didn't just hang up. Something happened to him. Something violent. Something meant to silence him. Her fingers dug into the towel. Sir, do you think Kwame is... Kweku Ose-Mensah didn't answer. He paced the room in sharp, controlled strides, his jaw locked, anger simmering beneath his calm exterior like a growing storm. Alma, he finally said, we cannot assume anything until we know more. But what we can assume is that someone didn't want him talking. Alma hugged herself tighter. Her voice cracked. Sir, he said, he didn't mean for things to go this far. That Madam Abina asked him to plant the bracelet. That they forced me out before I discovered the truth. She raised her trembling eyes. But what truth? I don't know anything about your family. I don't know anyone. Why would they think I discovered something? Kweku stopped pacing. He turned toward her slowly, his expression unreadable. Because sometimes, Alma, he said softly, the people who see the least are the ones most dangerous, especially when they're innocent. She blinked. I don't understand. He sat across from her again, leaning forward, elbows resting on his knees. Alma, do you remember what I told you earlier? That my mother said she wouldn't allow a girl to scatter her home? Alma nodded weakly. Now we know she meant you. But why? Alma whispered helplessly. Why would she think I could destroy anything? I just clean, cook, and mind my business. Kweku exhaled deeply. Alma, my father has made mistakes in the past. He's hurt my mother before, and my mother has lived with a deep fear that one day another woman would come between them. Alma's whole body tensed. Sir, I swear on my mother's grave, I have never spoken to your father except to greet him. I don't even look at him when he enters the room. I believe you, Kweku replied, but my mother sees threat where none exists. He hesitated, then added quietly, and there are things she suspects that even I don't fully understand. Alma's skin prickled. You think your father is involved in this? Kweku's silence was answer enough. Alma felt the room spin. Everything she thought she knew about her former employers was crumbling. The mansion she scrubbed with devotion. The family she served with fear and respect. The routine she knew by heart. All of it built on secrets far bigger than she realized. Amma, Kweku said suddenly, before everything happened, did my father ever speak to you privately? Even once? She swallowed hard. Images flashed, moments she'd buried because they made her uncomfortable. Moments when Mr. Osamensa lingered too long at the kitchen doorway. Moments when he walked into the living room and stared at her before pretending he was looking for a pen. Moments when his voice softened strangely when he greeted her. But she had never told a soul. She lowered her gaze. He never touched me, sir, but sometimes he watched me from afar. I always pretended not to notice. Kweku closed his eyes. That explains everything. Explains what? Amma whispered. My mother's paranoia, he replied. Her fear, her anger toward you. She assumed the worst, that my father was interested in you. Amma gasped. No, sir, I am not. I know you're not, he said gently. But paranoia isn't logical. My mother believed she was protecting her marriage. She just chose the wrong target. Amma felt the weight of injustice hitting her yet again. Sir, all this because your father looked at me? But what about the motorcycle? Why would someone follow me? Why would they silence Kwame? Kweku leaned back slowly, exhaling through his nose. Because if Kwame confessed, my mother would be implicated. And my father may also have something to hide. Amma's stomach twisted. What else is happening in your house? She asked quietly. Kweku didn't answer immediately. He stood up and walked to a drawer. From it, he pulled a file, thin cream color plain. He returned to the sofa and placed it on the table between them. Amma stared at it nervously. What is that? Kweku rested his hands on the table. I didn't want to involve you in this, he admitted. But now you're already caught in the middle. Amma's heart pounded. He opened the file. Inside were photos, documents, printed emails. Amma's breath froze in her chest. What is all this? Kweku pointed to one of the papers. I've been investigating my father for months. Amma's eyes widened. Investigating your father? Why? Because, he said in a low, steady voice, large sums of money have been disappearing from the family accounts, and someone has been laundering funds through a shell company. Amma felt faint. And you think your father's involved? I did at first, Kweku confessed. But then I realized someone else was manipulating him. Someone inside the house. Someone who needed a distraction while they continued using our family's wealth. He lifted one printed email. This came from an anonymous whistleblower. It says one staff member accidentally discovered evidence and that the person needed to be removed quietly before they talked. Amma's veins turned to ice. Staff member? She whispered. He met her eyes. Yes, Amma. A staff member. A maid. Amma's breath shattered. No, sir, no. I didn't see anything. I didn't know anything. I swear I am not involved. I know that, Kweku said, his voice gentle. But they don't. They think you noticed something you weren't supposed to. Amma pressed her hands against her forehead. Sir, I only cleaned the rooms and washed the towels. I don't know anything about money or emails or fraud. But you were in the wrong place at the wrong time, Kweku murmured. He picked up a photo. Look at this. Amma hesitated, then leaned in slowly. Her heart stopped. It was a picture of her, in the living room, wiping the shelves behind a framed photo of the family. A laptop was open on the table. Someone had captured the exact moment she glanced toward it. Innocent, random, meaningless. But in the photo, it looked like she was looking directly at the screen. Sir, she whispered in horror, this was the day Madam accused me of scratching the mirror. I didn't even go near the laptop. Kweku nodded. I know, but in the wrong hands. This picture can look like you saw something on the laptop. Amma covered her mouth as reality crashed down. They think I discovered evidence. They think I know their secret. And that, Kweku said, is why you were framed. Amma stared at him, unable to breathe. Sir, then your mother may be involved, he finished. Or she may just be a pawn. The real mastermind might be someone else entirely. Amma's pulse hammered. Someone wanted her gone. Someone believed she had information. Someone silenced Kwame before he revealed too much. She looked at the apartment door instinctively, fear rising like smoke. So am I safe here? Kweku paused. That pause told her everything. Ama's eyes filled with terrified tears. "Yes, sir. This place is yours. Why am I not safe here?" Kweku turned his chair slightly, his face shadowed. "Ama, I didn't want you to know this part yet." Her stomach dropped. "Know what?" Kweku lifted his eyes. "Someone has been tracking your phone." Ama froze. My phone," she whispered. "Yes," he said. "Kwame told me last week. He thought you were being monitored, but didn't know why." Ama's heart stopped. Her mind raced back to all the times her phone battery drained too quickly. All the times strange numbers flashed and disappeared. All the strange moments when she felt watched. Her legs trembled. "So they know I'm here," she whispered. Kweku didn't answer. His silence confirmed it. Ama slowly backed away from the sofa, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Sir, why didn't you tell me this from the beginning?" she cried. "Why did you bring me here if they can find me?" Kweku stepped toward her. "Ama, listen. I wanted to protect you first before overwhelming you with the truth. I needed you safe. I needed you calm." Ama shook her head. "Safe? How? I'm not safe anywhere." He reached out, placing a gentle hand on her shoulder. "Ama, I promise you, whoever is behind this will not touch you as long as I'm alive." But Ama pulled away. Her voice trembled. "Sir, why are you doing all this for me? Why do you care so much? Why does it matter to you if I'm framed or killed?" His chest rose with a deep breath. He looked away. Then he said the one thing she didn't expect. The one thing that changed everything. "Ama Sirwa, I didn't meet you by accident." She froze. What do you mean?" Kweku turned toward her slowly, painfully. His voice dropped to a whisper. "I knew you before you ever entered my mother's house." Ama's entire body stiffened. "What?" she breathed. "Sir, that's impossible. We never met." Kweku stepped closer. "You don't remember me, but I remember you." Her lips parted, but nothing came out. "I met you 3 years ago," he continued softly, "at Madina Market. You were selling oranges with your brother. You gave me the last sachet of water you had, because I looked faint after stepping out of my car." Ama's heart lurched. Her memory flickered. A hot day, a man in sunglasses. A sachet of water passed through trembling fingers. "I never forgot your kindness," he whispered. "I searched for you afterward, but you were gone." Ama stared at him as though the world had frozen. "And the day I saw you at my mother's house," he said, "I recognized you immediately." Her breath caught. "Sir, why didn't you say anything?" Kweku swallowed, voice thick. "Because, Ama, you look tired, broken, lost. And I didn't want you to think I had come to take anything from you. I only wanted to help you when you were ready." Ama felt her knees weaken. He stepped closer, expression gentle but intense. "And now, someone is trying to destroy you. I won't let that happen. Not again." The room spun around Ama. Her voice cracked. "Sir, what do you want from me?" Kweku opened his mouth to answer, but before he could speak, the apartment lights flickered, then went off. Total darkness. Ama choked on fear. "Kweku?" A single sound pierced the silence. A soft click. The sound of an apartment door being unlocked from the outside. Kweku grabbed Ama's wrist. "Get behind me," he whispered. Another click. Another sound. Footsteps. Inside the apartment. Someone had entered. Someone who already knew where Ama was. Who do you think entered the apartment? The real mastermind, Madame Abina, or someone Ama never suspected? For a moment, the darkness felt alive. Ama Sirwa clung to Kweku's arm as the apartment remained swallowed in pitch-black silence. The only sound was the storm outside and the thudding of her heart in her ears. Someone was inside. Someone who unlocked the door without force. Someone who knew exactly where to find them. Kweku slowly guided Ama backward toward the wall. "Don't move," he whispered, barely audible. Ama's breath trembled in her throat. A faint rustle came from the hallway, like fabric brushing against the doorframe. Then a voice, not loud, not hurried, calm, measured. Amma, Kweku, I know you're both here. Come out. Amma's entire body stiffened. She knew that voice. Kweku tensed. He stepped forward protectively, shielding Amma behind him even though she could barely see his silhouette. Mother, he said through clenched teeth, turn on the lights. A soft sigh followed. Moments later, a switch flipped. The penthouse flooded with warm yellow light. Standing near the dining table in a purple wrapper and matching head tie was Madame Abina Oforwe, dripping wet from the rain, eyes sharp as a hawk's, expression unreadable. Amma's knees nearly buckled. Kweku stepped forward. How did you get in here? Madame Abina raised one eyebrow. This is my husband's apartment. You think I don't have access? You believe I don't know what happens under my own roof. Kweku clenched his jaw. Why are you here? Madame Abina ignored the question. Her eyes slid past him and landed on Amma. The room thickened with tension. Amma gripped the towel around her shoulders, heart pounding like war drums. So, Madame Abina said slowly, this is where you ran to after disgrace in my household? Amma swallowed hard. Madam, please. I never stole. Silence. Madame Abina barked, voice slicing the air. You think tears and shaking hand will fool me? You think I don't see what you're trying to do? Kweku stepped between them, his tone colder than rain on marble. Mother, enough. You have said more than enough lies for one lifetime. Madame Abina blinked, stunned that her son used that tone on her. You call me a liar? She asked, voice dangerously calm. Kweku didn't flinch. You framed Amma. You used Kwame to plant the bracelet. You wanted her gone. And now, someone has attacked Kwame. Do you want to tell me who silenced him? For the first time, Madame Abina's expression flickered. Just for a second. But it was enough. You don't know what you're talking about, she snapped. Kwame has his own problems. If he is in trouble, that is his matter. Mother. Kweku's voice dropped lower, deadlier. What truth were you trying to stop Amma from discovering? Silence fell like a stone. Amma stared at Madame Abina, fear and confusion twisting inside her stomach. Madame Abina pressed her lips together, nostrils flaring slightly. Then she said very slowly, she needed to leave the house before she ruined everything I have built. Amma gasped. Me? But madam, what did I ever do? You existed. Madame Abina exploded, voice trembling with long-buried pain. You came into my home with your soft face and quiet steps, and suddenly my husband lost interest in me again. Suddenly he stayed late in the living room pretending to work, just to watch you pass. Amma staggered backward. Madam, no. Please, I never... Don't deny it. Madame Abina shouted, eyes glistening. A man's gaze is a woman's worst curse. The moment he looked at you, I knew you would scatter my marriage. Kweku closed his eyes briefly, pained. Mother, this is not about jealousy. This is about corruption. Someone in that house is laundering money. Someone thinks Amma saw something. Madame Abina's eyes widened, then sharpened. So, she said slowly, you know about the missing funds. Amma felt ice run through her veins. Kweku stepped forward. Mother, what do you know? Madame Abina looked away, jaw trembling with something that wasn't anger, something closer to fear. You shouldn't interfere. Kweku, this family has survived because we don't expose our shame. Some secrets must remain buried. Not when innocent people are being destroyed. Kweku shot back. Amma's breathing grew shallow. Secrets? Money laundering? Possible violence? And she was caught in the middle. Madame Abina's gaze softened just a fraction. Kweku, listen to me. This matter is not what you think. Your father. The apartment door suddenly slammed shut. Everyone jerked toward it. Standing there, dripping rain onto the floor, palms shaking, eyes wide with guilt and shock, was Mr. Osei Mensah. Amma's breath froze. The man whose gaze had made her uncomfortable. The man whose silence had always held something strange. The man who stood at the top of the household food chain. He stepped forward. His wife flinched. Kofi, Madame Abina whispered. You follow me here? His voice was low. I had to. You shouldn't face this alone. His eyes drifted briefly, too briefly, to Amma, then to Kweku, then back to his wife. Amma, he said softly, you should have stayed away from my house. Amma stepped backward until her back hit the wall. Her voice shook. Sir, why? What did I do? Mr. Omensa sighed heavily, rubbing his forehead. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Which is the problem. Amma froze. What does that mean? His voice cracked with something that sounded like regret. It means I grew fond of you. Madame Abina closed her eyes as if stabbed. Amma felt sick. No, she whispered. No, sir. I never encouraged you. I never. I know, he said quietly. You were respectful, hard-working, humble. Exactly the kind of woman I should have married years ago. You reminded me of who Abina used to be before wealth corrupted us. Madame Abina gasped and stepped away. How dare you? She whispered. Kofi, how dare you? Kofi ignored her pain. He looked at Amma instead. The others noticed, he continued, voice hollow. Kwame noticed. The cook noticed. Even the steward noticed. And whispers began spreading. Whispers that I wanted you. Amma covered her mouth, tears filling her eyes. I swear, sir, I never did anything. I know, he shouted suddenly, his voice echoing through the apartment. You did nothing. You did everything right. And that is why you became a threat. Amma trembled violently. His voice softened again, too soft. She needed you out of the way. Then he looked at Kweku. And so did you. Kweku stepped forward, stunned. Me? What do you mean? Mr. Osemensa's eyes narrowed. You think I don't know about your investigation? About you digging through financial files? Doing your undercover checks? You think I haven't noticed how you've been watching me? Questioning my every move. Kweku stiffened. Mr. Osemensa lowered his gaze. I didn't want you to find out what I did with the money. Amma's knees shook violently. What did you do? Kweku already knows, he said bitterly. I've made mistakes. Big ones. The kind that can ruin a family. And when I realized Amma might have accidentally seen something on my laptop, he sighed. I panicked. Madame Abina stepped toward him. Kofi, tell the truth. Tell them everything. His chest rose and fell. Then he looked at Amma with eyes full of sorrow. I told Kwame to monitor you, to make sure you didn't talk, to keep you away from the laptop. But I never told him to hurt you. I only asked him to watch. Amma shook her head. But someone followed me. Someone threatened me. Someone silenced him. Mr. Osemensa swallowed. That wasn't me. Silence hung heavy. Then, a knock. 3 slow knocks. Everyone froze. Kweku grabbed Amma's hand instinctively. Who is that? He whispered to his father. Mr. Osemensa didn't answer. The knock came again, louder. Madame Abina backed away, fear taking over her face. Kofi, did you bring someone here? No, he said, voice trembling. Then a voice spoke from behind the door. Calm, smooth, dangerous. Open the door. We need to finish what Kwame started. Amma's blood turned to ice. Every hair on her body stood up. Kweku stepped forward. Who are you? What do you want? The voice chuckled. We don't need you. We only want the girl. Amma stumbled backward, heart in her throat. She lived a simple life. She never stole. She never lied. She never harmed anyone. And yet someone wanted her dead. Mr. Osemensa lunged toward the door. Leave her alone. She knows nothing. Exactly, the voice replied. And ignorance is deadly. Open the door. Kweku pulled Amma behind him. Amma, he whispered firmly, no matter what happens, stay with me. Her voice shook. Sir, who is that? Why do they want me? He looked into her eyes with an expression she had never seen before, a mix of fear, determination, and something deeper. Because, he whispered, they think you're the one person who could destroy them. Before Amma could respond, the door handle turned. Slowly, silently. Then the voice said, if you won't open it, we'll come in ourselves. Who do you think is behind the door? Someone working for family, a hired hitman, or someone Amma never suspected? And what do you think they truly want from her? The door handle twisted slowly. Amaserwa felt her heart crawl into her throat. Kweku gripped her wrist with one hand and reached for the small metal lamp with the other. Madame Abina stood behind the dining table, trembling. Mr. Osei Mensah's breathing grew heavy with panic. The door opened, just an inch, then another, then the lights flickered again. A shadow slipped into the apartment. Tall, broad-shouldered, wearing a dark hooded coat, dripping with rainwater, face hidden in shadow. The stranger took one step inside, then another, Ama's vision blurred with terror. Kweku lifted the lamp like a weapon. Stop right there. The hooded figure paused, then slowly lifted both hands. I'm not here to harm you, he said quietly. The voice was familiar, too familiar. Ama squinted through the dim light. The stranger removed the hood, and Ama nearly collapsed. It was Kojo, the family's longtime steward, a man she had trusted, a man who had always been gentle to the staff, a man who once told her, Ama, you are too soft for this world, be careful. Kweku lowered the lamp slightly. Kojo, you were the one knocking like a criminal. Kojo looked devastated, his eyes swollen, his expression tight with grief. I'm sorry for frightening all of you, he whispered, but I had no choice. They were following me. I had to shake them before coming here. Ama's voice broke. They... Who is they? Kojo swallowed hard. The same people who killed Kwame. A sharp gasp filled the room. Ama staggered backward, hand over her mouth. She had feared it, but hearing it confirmed shredded her spirit. Killed. Madame Abina whispered. Kojo, what are you saying? Who killed him? Kojo looked at her with trembling eyes. Madam, with all due respect, you know exactly who I'm talking about. Madame Abina blinked rapidly. Me? How dare you? No. Kojo interrupted gently. Not you, your husband. All eyes snapped to Mr. Osei Mensah. He stumbled backward, shaking his head violently. No, I never touched Kwame. I swear. Kojo's voice cracked. You didn't kill him with your hands, sir, but your orders destroyed him. Ama's body froze. What orders? She whispered. Kojo closed his eyes, then spoke. Kwame was supposed to monitor you, Ama, to scare you, to ensure you kept quiet if you saw something on the laptop. But when he realized you truly knew nothing, he wanted out. Kweku moaned softly in anger, so they silenced him. Yes, Kojo said. The people siphoning money from the company. The ones who used Mr. Osei Mensah's name. They feared Kwame would confess everything. Ama trembled. But why involve me? Why drag me into something I don't understand? Kojo looked at her with heartbreaking sympathy. Because you were in the wrong room at the wrong moment. Because someone saw you on the CCTV near the family laptop. Because they assumed you saw evidence. Alma pressed both hands to her chest as tears spilled down her face. But I didn't, she whispered. I didn't see anything. I didn't even know how to open the laptop. Kojo nodded. I know, Alma, but criminals don't take chances. They eliminate possibilities. A cold chill crawled up Alma's spine. Kweku stepped closer to Kojo, fists clenched. Tell me everything. Now. Kojo nodded slowly. For almost 2 years, Kojo began, money has been disappearing from your father's accounts. Not stolen openly, laundered quietly, transferred in small amounts to shell companies, covered under business, expenses no one questioned. Kweku nodded. I suspected this. Kojo swallowed. But the mastermind wasn't your father. Alma blinked. Then who? Kojo looked toward Madame Abina. She stiffened. Kojo, don't you dare. Kweku frowned. Mother? Kojo took a deep breath. The mastermind is your uncle. Uncle? Kweku repeated slowly. My mother's brother? Kojo nodded. Yes, Mr. J. The one who travels between Ghana and South Africa. The one who manages the international contracts. Alma's eyes widened. Kojo continued. He used your father's trust. He used his company access. He used his signature. And when Mr. Mensah finally noticed something strange, he blackmailed him. Mr. Osei Mensah's shoulders sagged in shame. I was foolish, he whispered. I signed documents without reading. I let my brother-in-law handle deals I should have reviewed. By the time I realized the truth, the damage had been done. Kojo nodded. So, when Mr. J learned that Alma might have seen something, he ordered Kwame to take care of it. He told Kwame that Alma had become a threat. Alma's knees buckled. Kweku caught her before she hit the floor. And when Kwame wanted out, Kojo said, voice cracking, they silence him. Alma sobbed into Kweku's arm. They want to finish the job, Kojo added. They're coming for Alma next. Madame Abina gasped. No, we must call the police. Kojo shook his head violently. Madam, your brother controls half of the officers in East Legan. If we call the wrong person, Alma will disappear before sunrise. The room thickened with dread. Kweku's eyes darkened with newfound fire. So, what do we do? Kojo stepped closer, lowering his voice. Your uncle leaves Ghana tomorrow night. If he makes that flight, everything will be buried forever. Kwame's death, the stolen money, the threats, everything. Kweku clenched his fists. I won't allow that. Kojo nodded. You need evidence. You need access to the original files. And those files are in your parents' mansion, in Mr. J's private study. Alma froze. The mansion, she whispered. They kicked me out. They threatened me. And now we have to go back. Kweku touched her cheek gently. We're not going anywhere without a plan. But Alma shook her head in fear. Kweku, they'll kill me if I step foot there. He leaned closer. I won't let anyone lay a finger on you. But how? She whispered. He didn't answer immediately. Then, slowly, a plan formed behind his eyes. He stood up. Alma, come with me. She hesitated. Sir, where? He motioned toward the hallway, to the spare bedroom. You need to rest. Rest? In this chaos? While assassins were roaming. Still, she followed him numbly. Inside the room, Kweku turned to face her. Alma Surwa, he said softly. Your life has become tangled with mine. You didn't choose it. You didn't deserve it. But I won't let you suffer for my family's sins. Alma hugged her shoulders. Sir, I just want this nightmare to end. He nodded slowly. And it will. But you need protection. Real protection. Alma blinked. Protection? How? Then he said something so shocking she forgot how to breathe. I want you to stay with me permanently. Alma froze. Permanently? Sir, what do you mean? I mean, he said firmly, I want to move you out of serving quarters and into a new life. A life where no one can throw you out. No one can insult you. No one can harm you. Her lips trembled. But why would you do that for me? Kweku stepped closer, not touching her, but close enough that she felt the warmth of his presence. Alma, I owe you the truth. She swallowed. What truth? He inhaled deeply. I didn't just remember you from a market. I searched for you. For years. Because that one moment of kindness you gave me changed something in me. And when I found you again, broken, alone, my heart never forgave me. Alma's chest tightened. Kweku, sir. Please, this is too much. I am just a maid. He shook his head slowly. No, Alma. You were a maid. Not anymore. Not in my eyes. She blinked rapidly as tears blurred her vision. But your mother hates me. She will adjust. And your father has lost the right to dictate anything in my life. And society cannot tell me who is worthy. Alma covered her mouth, overwhelmed. Then Kweku said the words that shattered her completely. I want to help you build a new life. Education, housing, protection, anything. But more than that. His voice dropped to a whisper. I want to make sure you never kneel in the rain again. Alma's legs weakened. She reached for the bed frame to steady herself. Kweku, are you saying this because you pity me? He stepped closer and looked into her eyes. No, Alma. I'm saying this because you matter to me. More than you know. Alma's heart thundered painfully. She shook her head, tears falling. But how can I accept this when your family is in danger? When your uncle is trying to kill me? When everything is falling apart? Kweku touched her arm gently. We'll face it together. But how? She whispered desperately. He didn't smile. He didn't soften. He said one simple, terrifying sentence. We are going back to the mansion tomorrow. Alma's breath vanished. No, Kweku, we can't. They will kill me. Alma, he said softly, we cannot defeat what we don't confront. The evidence is there. The truth is there. And your freedom depends on it. She shook violently, tears streaming. I'm scared. He brushed a tear gently from her cheek. I know, but courage is not the absence of fear. It's choosing to move despite it. She lowered her gaze. What if I can't? His voice softened. Then hold my hand. I'll carry the fear for you. Her heart cracked open, but before she could respond, a loud crash echoed from the living room. Then Kojo shouted, Hide her. They followed me. They're here. Should Alma risk returning to the mansion to uncover the truth, or should she run far away before the criminals find her? What would you do? Kojo's warning shook the walls. Hide her. They followed me. They're here. Alma's entire body froze as thunder roared behind the windows. Rain lashed hard against the glass, punching the silence with terrifying force. Kweku didn't hesitate. He grabbed Alma's hand and pulled her toward the bedroom. Alma, go now. Her legs trembled beneath her, but she forced them to move. Kojo barreled into the hallway, slamming the living room gate shut, his chest heaving with panic. They caught up with me, he shouted. They're outside the building. 3 men. One of them is holding something, I think a weapon. Madame Abina gasped, clutching the wall for balance. Mr. Amensa staggered backward, eyes wide with guilt and fear. This is my fault, he whispered. I brought this danger into my home. Kweku didn't spare him a glance. He pushed Alma through the bedroom doorway. Stay low. Don't make a sound. Do not open the door unless it's me. Alma clutched his arm, voice cracking. Kweku, please don't let them take me. He cupped her cheek gently, so gently it made tears spill from her eyes. They won't. I swear on my life. Then he shut the bedroom door quietly. Alma sank to the floor, shaking, covering her mouth to keep her sobs silent. Her breathing came in jagged bursts. The towel fell from her shoulders. She hugged her knees tightly. Then, a thunderous bang. Someone kicked the main apartment door from outside. Alma's blood turned into ice. Kojo shouted, Hold it! They're trying to break in. Another bang. Another. Furniture rattled. Glass trembled in its frames. Then came a voice from beyond the door. Cold, calm, commanding. Open the door. We only want the girl. Hand her over, and no one else gets hurt. Alma bit her fist to stop her scream. She pressed her forehead to the floor, whispering, God, please save me, please. Inside the living room, chaos erupted. Kweku shouted back, You're not taking anyone from here. One of the attackers laughed. A chilling, confident sound. Boy, do you think you're fighting thieves? This is bigger than your family. Bigger than your name. You're interfering with things you don't understand. Kweku growled, I understand enough to know you killed Kwame. Silence fell on the other side of the door. Then the man replied, And we will do it again. Alma's heart nearly burst. Her vision blurred. Her limbs trembled. She covered her ears, yet still heard every word. Kojo shouted, We need the police. Call someone. No. Kweku snapped, We can't trust the police. They may be working with Ajay. Alma's head snapped up. Uncle Ajay. Her blood ran cold. She remembered the times he'd visited the mansion, always well-dressed, always smiling, always pretending to bless the house. But something in his eyes, dark cunning, had always unsettled her. Now everything made sense. He was no uncle. He was the serpent lying beneath the family's wealth. Another violent bang shook the entire doorframe. Madame Abina screamed, Kweku, we must escape, we must run. Kojo shouted, There is no escape. They've locked the building. Mr. Osemensa's voice trembled. Kweku, my brother will kill us all. We must hand the girl over. Alma froze. Her breath vanished. Did he really say that? Kweku roared, Father, shut up. Alma is not the problem. You are. Alma's tears fell harder. Even now, even with danger standing at the door, the man whose silent gazes had ruined her life was trying to sacrifice her. Her soul broke a little more. She pressed both hands against her mouth and sobbed silently. Then, footsteps rushed toward the bedroom door. Her heart stopped. Kweku whispered urgently from the other side. Alma, listen to me. We're going to get out through the service exit. When I say run, you run. Don't look back. Alma pressed her palm against the door. Kweku, I'm scared. I don't think I can. You can, he whispered, because you're stronger than everything that has happened to you. She cried harder. Alma, he continued quietly, voice thick with emotion, the world has kicked you so many times, but I promise you, tonight will not break you. A loud crash interrupted them. The wooden frame of the front door cracked. Alma screamed silently behind her hands. Kojo yelled, They're in the corridor. They're almost through. Madame Abina fell to her knees, crying and praying loudly. Mr. Osamensa backed away, pale as a ghost. The attackers shouted, Last chance. Give us the girl and the rest of you live. Their words sliced the air. Alma shook uncontrollably. She whispered to God, to herself, to her mother's spirit, anything that could hear her. Please don't let me die. Then Kweku yanked the bedroom door open and grabbed her hand. Alma now. She gasped, stumbling toward him. He pulled her through the hallway. Kojo, the service exit, yo. Kojo led the way, limping, breathing hard, tears streaming down his face. I swear, Alma, I won't let them take you. Suddenly, boom, the front door burst open. 3 masked men stormed inside. Alma screamed. Kweku pulled her behind the kitchen counter. Don't move. The intruders scanned the room like wolves. We know she's here, one of them growled. Search every room. Footsteps pounded through the penthouse. Kojo pushed open the small service door. This way. Quickly. But as Alma ran forward, a hand grabbed her waist. Strong. Merciless. Cold. She screamed, Kweku! The masked man yanked her backward. Kweku slammed into him with full force, knocking him into the wall. Alma felt the floor, gasping. The attacker staggered but didn't fall. He pulled out something from his coat, a syringe, filled with a clear liquid. Alma screamed louder than she ever had in her entire life. No! The man lunged at her, but Kweku grabbed a frying pan from the counter and smashed it into the attacker's wrist. The syringe flew across the floor. Alma crawled backward, shaking violently. Kojo pulled her up. Alma, run. She ran. She didn't look back. Tears blinded her. Her lungs burned. Her legs felt like fire. She burst into the hallway, following Kojo. Behind her, Kweku fought like a man possessed. She heard grunts, punches, glass shattering, metal clanging. Kweku! She cried, turning. Kojo grabbed her arm. Alma, don't look. If you stop, they will catch you. She sobbed but forced herself to run. They reached the emergency staircase. Kojo pushed Alma ahead of him. Hurry! Suddenly, a gunshot exploded behind them. Alma screamed and dropped to her knees. Kojo fell against the wall, a dark patch spreading across his shoulder. Kojo! No, no, and no. Kojo! He gritted his teeth. Keep running. Don't stop for me. But you're bleeding. Kojo seized her shoulders. Alma Surwa, if you stop now, everything Kwame died for, everything Kweku is fighting for, will be in vain. Her soul shattered. She nodded through her tears. Then she ran down the stairs. 1 step, 2, 3. Suddenly, her phone vibrated in her pocket. She froze. Her hands shook as she pulled it out. The number on the screen had no name, no caller ID, just one word. She answered with trembling hands, breath shaking. Hello? A chilling voice whispered through the speaker. Alma, you can run, but you cannot hide from blood truth. Her whole body trembled. She whispered, Who are you? The voice laughed softly. My name is important. What matters is this. You are not who you think you are. Alma felt her heart stop. What do you mean? The voice continued. Calm, cold, certain. You think you are running from danger, but you are running toward your destiny. Alma Surwa, it's time you know the truth about your mother. Alma stumbled backward, almost falling down the stairs. What does my mother have to do with this? She's dead. The voice replied. Dead, yes, but not gone. Her past is what started all of this. Alma's vision blurred. Her throat tightened. My mother? Then the voice said the sentence that shattered her world. Your mother knew Ajay's darkest secret. And now, you are paying the price for her silence. The call ended. Alma dropped the phone. Her scream echoed through the empty stairwell. What secret do you think Alma's mother knew? And how do you think this connects to Ajay, the mansion, and Alma's suffering? Share your thoughts. Alma Surwa sat on the staircase landing, trembling so violently her bones felt like they might shatter. Rain pounded the rooftop above. Thunder shook the night sky. Her phone lay on the floor, screen still glowing. The voice still echoed inside her skull. Your mother knew Ajay's darkest secret. And now, you are paying the price for her silence. Alma clutched her chest. No. Mama, why? What does your past have to do with my suffering today? Tears spilled freely. Every breath felt like fire. Behind her, footsteps pounded down the stairwell. Alma! Kweku's voice echoed. Alma, where are you? She tried to stand, but her legs were too weak. She crawled the last few steps until Kweku reached her. He dropped to his knees beside her, holding her trembling shoulders. Alma, look at me. Alma, what happened? Why are you crying like this? She lifted her shaking hand and pointed to the fallen phone. They called me. Someone called me. They know my name. They know where I am. They know everything about my mother. Kweku froze. What did they say? Alma swallowed hard, voice breaking. They said, my mother knew Ajay's secret, that all this suffering, all this danger, is because of her, that I'm paying the price for something she hid. Kweku's expression darkened with shock and anger. Your mother? But, Alma, how would your mother know anything about my uncle? They're from different worlds. Alma wiped her tears with the back of her hand. No, not different worlds. My mother used to work for a wealthy family in Accra before she married my father. She told me stories of hardship, of secrets she witnessed, of tribulations, but she never mentioned names. Her eyes widened as a realization dawned. Kweku, what if the family Mama worked for was your family? Kweku's heart lurched. That's possible, he admitted. Kojo once mentioned your village is close to where my grandparents lived. Alma nodded, breath shaking. My mother said she once worked in a house where people lived with too many secrets. She said she wanted to forget everything when she left, but she also said some secrets follow you until death. Kweku swallowed hard. Did she ever mention Ajay by name? Alma shook her head. No, but she said there was a man in that house, a man who pretended to be gentle but had darkness inside him. She said he controlled everything without people knowing. She said he ruined lives while smiling. Kweku's blood froze. That sounded exactly like Ajay. Alma covered her face. My mother left that job without explanation. She traveled to the village suddenly. People said she looked scared. She met my father. She started a new life. But sometimes I saw her staring into space, as if remembering things she wished she could erase. Kweku gently lifted her chin. Alma, your mother might have witnessed something dangerous. Something Ajay didn't want anyone to know. Alma nodded slowly. And now he thinks I know it too. A wave of fear crushed her chest. God, why am I suffering for something my mother saw years before I was born? Kweku held her hands tightly. Because evil doesn't die when time passes. It waits, and the moment it senses a threat, it strikes. Alma sobbed, burying her face against his shoulder. Kweku, I'm tired. I'm tired of running. I'm tired of fear. I'm tired of pain. I want this nightmare to end. He hugged her, wrapping his arms around her tightly. And it will, Alma. I swear it will. But we need answers. We need to know exactly what your mother knew. Alma pulled back, eyes swollen. But how? She's gone. Kweku reached for her fallen phone and picked it up. The person who called you knows the truth, and they chose to warn you rather than kill you. That means they're not on a Jay's side. Alma froze. What if they are trying to help me? Exactly, Kweku murmured. But we must be careful. They may also have their own motives. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from the floor below. Alma screamed and grabbed Kweku's hand. They're still in the building, she whispered. Kweku, they're still here. Kweku stood and helped Alma to her feet. We have to get out of here. Now! Alma stopped him. Wait, Kojo. Kojo was shot. We can't leave him. Kweku's eyes softened with pain. I tried to reach him before coming after you, but he was gone from the hallway. He either escaped or someone took him. Alma's heart twisted. No, not Kojo. God, please. Alma, Kweku said gently. We can't help him until we survive the night. She nodded weakly. They hurried down the stairs, moving as quietly as possible. Alma held onto the railing, still trembling. Every shadow felt alive. Every sound felt like a threat. When they reached the ground floor landing, Kweku pushed the door open slowly. Rain poured into the corridor. The storm was violent, wild, almost angry, as if the heavens themselves were reacting to the secrets being exposed. They stepped into the open compound. The security men were nowhere in sight. Alma grabbed Kweku's arm. Where is everyone? Kweku scanned the area, either hiding or forced to leave. They moved toward the exit gate. Lightning flashed. Alma screamed. A figure stood beside the gate, motionless, tall, silent, watching. For a moment, Alma thought it was one of the attackers. But as they got closer, her breath caught. It wasn't a man. It wasn't a stranger. It was a woman, covered in a long black raincoat, face hidden under a wide hood, rain dripping from her shoulders. She slowly turned toward them. Alma clutched Kweku's arm so tightly it hurt. Kweku, who is that? I don't know. The woman stepped forward. Alma stepped back. Kweku pulled Alma behind him protectively. Then the woman lifted her hand, not to attack, but to reveal something small, wet, folded, old, a letter. She placed it on the ground gently. Then she whispered, voice soft as falling ash. Alma Sirwa, your mother wanted you to have this. Alma's heart stopped. My mother? The woman nodded once. She left in my care. She feared this day would come. Alma's legs weakened. Kweku, is this real? Is this happening? Before Kweku could answer, the woman continued. I kept her secret for many years. But now, hiding it is killing you. Open it, Alma. The truth will set you free. Rain soaked the letter instantly. Alma hesitated. Then she bent down, trembling, and picked it up. But when she lifted her head, the woman was gone. Not walking away. Not running. Gone. Like a shadow swallowed by the night. Alma clutched the letter to her chest, shaking uncontrollably. Kweku, this is Mama's handwriting. He guided her to the sheltered veranda. Alma, open it. No. No. Kweku, I'm scared. What if the truth destroys me? He gently held her hand. Alma, the truth is the only thing that can save you now. She took a deep breath and opened the letter. Inside were only a few sentences, but they were enough to break her world. My daughter, if you are reading this, it means my past has come back for you. Forgive me. What I witnessed in that house was evil. I want to protect you from it. But blood remembers. A Jay is not just a dangerous man. He is. The ink smudged from rainwater. The last line blurred. Alma's eyes widened in terror. Kweku smeared. I can't see the rest. Kweku grabbed the letter, trying to decipher it. No, the last sentence is gone. Alma shook violently. Kweku, what was my mother trying to tell me? He looked at her, eyes filled with dread. Alma, we need the original letter. We need more answers. And there's only one place to find them. Alma froze. The mansion. He nodded. Yes. Alma, sir, we have to go back to the place where it all began. Before she could respond, a loud voice thundered from behind the gate. Too late. You should have run when you had the chance. Alma turned slowly, and standing behind them, inside the compound, hands in his pockets, rain dripping from his face, was Ajay, smiling. What do you think Alma's mother wrote in the missing last line? And how do you think Ajay is connected to her past? Rain hammered the ground like the sky was breaking open. Alma Sirwa froze, the wet letter clutched in her trembling hand. As Ajay stepped fully into the compound, his coat dripping, his expression calm enough to terrify even the strongest heart. Kweku immediately moved in front of Alma, shielding her. "Don't come any closer," he warned. Ajay only smirked. "You're brave, nephew. Braver than your father ever was." Mr. Osamensa flinched, looking away in shame. Madame Abina clutched the gate frame, her voice trembling. "Ajay, what are you doing? This is madness. We're family." Ajay's eyes cut to her sharply. "Family?" He gave a cold laugh. "You only remember that word when your comfort is threatened." Alma felt her knees weaken. She pressed against Kweku's back for support. He stepped forward. "You framed Alma. You hunted her. You killed Kwame. For what? Because you feared she saw something she didn't even understand." Ajay's eyes sharpened with a predatory glint. "That girl," he said slowly, "is more dangerous than you realize. She carries the past in her blood." Alma's heart skipped. "And my past? What do you want from me? What did my mother ever do to you?" Ajay's jaw clenched, nostrils flaring. "What did she do?" He threw his head back with a bitter laugh. "She destroyed everything." Alma shook her head desperately. "No, no. My mother was a kind woman, a gentle soul. She would never destroy anyone." Ajay stepped closer. "She destroyed me." Alma's breath froze. "How?" "What did she do?" Kweku raised his arm protectively, blocking Ajay from coming any closer. "She told the truth." Ajay spat. "That's what she did. She saw something she wasn't meant to see. Something that could have put me in prison long, before I built everything I have now." Then his expression twisted into something darker, deeper, and she refused to stay silent. Alma shook violently. "What did she see?" Ajay looked at her with eyes that had haunted many lives. "Your mother, Efua Sirwa, witnessed me forging documents in the Osamensa household. I was young, reckless, desperate. She confronted me. I begged her not to expose me. I told her I was trying to survive." He slowed his steps, voice softer now. "But she insisted on telling the truth. She went to my sister, your Madame Abina, expecting her to do the right thing." Madame Abina gasped. "You never told me that." Ajay shrugged. "Of course not. I told her that if she exposed me, I would destroy her family." Efua panicked. She feared what I might do. She ran away before she could say anything. Alma covered her mouth. "So you hunted her? You chased her? That's why we moved into the village suddenly? That's why she never returned to Accra?" Ajay nodded slowly. "I threatened her life, and she believed me." Alma collapsed to her knees. "My mother, she didn't leave that job because she wanted peace. She left because she was running from you." The truth shattered inside her like glass. Her mother had spent years hiding a pain she never spoke of, a fear that followed her even into death, a past she buried to protect her children. Ajay's expression hardened again. "And when I heard a young maid bearing the Sirwa name had entered my sister's household, I knew trouble had returned." Alma stared at him, tears streaming. "You think I wanted trouble? I only wanted to survive. I only wanted to work. I didn't even know who you were." Ajay ignored her shaking voice. "I couldn't take chances. If you found anything, if you connected the dots, if you exposed the truth your mother ran from, everything I built would crumble." Alma whispered. "I didn't even know there were dots to connect." Ajay stepped closer. "But someone inside the house thought you knew. And when Kwame lost his courage, my patience ended." Kweku lunged forward. "You murdered him." Ajay didn't flinch. He made a choice. Fear destroys weak men. Kweku clenched his fists. "You're a monster." Ajay smiled coldly. "No, I am a survivor, and I won't let a maid with a dead woman's shadow ruin my legacy." Alma lifted her head slowly. "No, you're not afraid of me. You're afraid of what my mother knew." Her voice trembled, but her eyes were steady. You're afraid her truth will still destroy you, even from a grave. Ajay's face twitched. For the first time, he looked rattled. Kweku seized a moment. What truth is missing from that letter, Ajay? What did Efya know that could bring you down even today? Ajay's body stiffened, and for a moment, the storm held its breath. But before he could answer, a loud siren pierced the night. Police vehicles entered the compound. Lights flashed. Officers jumped out, shouting commands. Ajay's eyes widened. No, you fools. You called the police? Kweku frowned. I didn't call them. Alma looked around desperately. Madame Abina raised her hands. I did, she cried. I sent a message to Commander Bokai. He's not under your peril. Ajay. Ajay's face twisted in rage. You stupid woman. Police officers rushed in, pointing their torches at Ajay. Hands up. Don't move. Ajay took a step back. His hand slipped into his coat. Alma gasped. Kweku, be careful. Kweku pulled Alma behind him. Ajay glared at them with wild eyes. You think this is over? He roared. You think police will save you? I still hold secrets. Secrets that can destroy the entire Ose Mensa name. Everything your father owns, Kweku, everything will crumble. Kweku's voice was steady. Let it crumble. Better an honest ruin than a wealthy lie. Ajay's eyes flared. And then he did something none of them expected. He raised his hand slowly. I surrender. The officers rushed him, cuffed him, and read his rights. But as they pushed him toward their van, he twisted his head toward Alma and shouted, You think you know your past? Alma Surwa, you have no idea who you really are. Alma froze. Her heart slammed against her ribs. Kweku caught her as her knees weakened again. What does he mean? She whispered. Who am I? Ajay laughed darkly as the officers dragged him away. You want the truth? Ask your mother's family. Ask them why she ran from them as well. Ask them why she changed her name. Ask them why. His voice was cut off as the doors shut. Alma felt the world spin. Kweku, what was he trying to say? Why would my mother change her name? Why would she run from her own family? Kweku held her shoulders, eyes filled with both fear and determination. Alma, it means your mother's secret is deeper than Ajay's corruption. Alma stared at him, tears streaking her rain-soaked cheeks. Kweku, who am I? He opened his mouth to answer, but a voice behind him finished the sentence instead. A woman's voice. Soft, wounded, but certain. Alma, my daughter, you are not who you think you are. Alma turned, and standing near the staircase, drenched in rain, face trembling, eyes full of tears, was a woman who looked exactly like her mother, alive. For a long moment, Alma Surwa could not breathe. The woman standing at the staircase landing looked like a face carved straight out of Alma's memories. The face she whispered prayers to, the face she cried for at her mother's funeral. Alma blinked once, twice. No, she whispered. This cannot be real. My mother is dead. My mother is... The woman stepped forward slowly, rain dripping from her long braids. No, Alma, she whispered back. I am not your mother, but I am the sister she left behind. Alma's breath shattered. Kay Kona, she squeaked. That was the name her mother had murmured in her sleep sometimes. The name she cried out during fevers. The name she whispered with guilt. The woman nodded, eyes filling with tears. Yes, Alma, I am Kona Surwa, your mother's elder sister. Alma staggered backward, gripping the wall. But Mama said she had no living family. She said everyone was gone. She said we had no one. Kona closed her eyes painfully. That was the lie she carried to her grave. Not because she hated us, but because she was trying to save you. Alma's hands trembled violently. Save me? Save me from what? Kweku stepped closer, his arm steady around her. Annie Kona, please. Alma deserves the whole truth. Kona nodded. She does, and she will have it tonight. They led Kona into the sheltered veranda. Rain softened to a drizzle. Police cars rolled away with Ajay shouting from the back seat, still spitting threats that no one listened to anymore. When all was quiet again, Kona sat and pulled Alma down beside her. She gently took Alma's trembling hands. My child, you are not suffering because of what you did. You are suffering because of a bloodline secret your mother died protecting. Alma stared at her with wet eyes. What secret? Kona inhaled deeply. Your mother, Efua, was not just a housemaid in the Ose Mensa home. She was more, far more. Alma frowned. What could she be? Kona looked at Kweku, then back at Alma. She was once engaged to a wealthy man, a businessman, a man who built estates before the Ose Mensas ever became rich. Alma's heart pounded. Engaged? Mama was engaged before my father. Yes, Kona whispered. She was engaged to a J. Alma's breath left her body. No, 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 no. Eddie Kona, that man is evil. Mama would never. She didn't know, Kona said softly. He hid everything from her. He courted her with a charming face and impressive wealth. She believed he was a good man. Kweku's jaw tightened. That sounded exactly like him. One day, Kona continued, Efua entered a room she was never meant to enter. She found papers, documents proving that Jay was involved in illegal businesses. Alma's eyes widened. That's the same thing he's doing now. Yes, Kona nodded. And when your mother confronted him, he threatened her life. Alma covered her mouth. He told her that if she exposed him, he would destroy not just her, but her entire bloodline. Tears spilled from Alma's eyes. Mama lived with that fear all her life. Kona nodded painfully. She broke the engagement. She fled the city. She went to the village and changed her name. She married your father, and she hid the truth to protect you. Alma sobbed quietly. But why did she say she had no family? Kona's voice trembled. Because Jay came looking for her. And when he couldn't find her, he came after us. Alma gasped. Kona lowered her gaze. I lost my husband because of that man's wrath. My children and I were forced to flee. Your mother thought cutting every tie to us would protect us from being discovered. Alma cried harder. My mother suffered alone just to protect me. Yes, Kona whispered. Efua was brave, but secrets do not die easily. When Ajay saw you working in the Ose Mensa home, he believed your mother told you everything. Kweku shook his head, and so he assumed Alma was going to destroy him. Kona nodded. That is why he hunted her. That is why he framed her. That is why Kwame died. That is why you almost died tonight. Alma leaned forward and sobbed into her palms. Her entire life suddenly made sense. All the pain, the fear, the misfortune, the strange terror in her mother's eyes. Her suffering was not random. It was inherited. Alma finally lifted her head, voice hoarse. Auntie, if Mama was once engaged to Jay, then why did he think I could destroy him? Kona wiped her tears. Because, Alma, Ajay believes you carry your mother's bravery. She took a shaky breath. And he believes that a child raised by Efua Serwa cannot be manipulated, cannot be bought, cannot be controlled, and cannot be silenced. Kweku's eyes softened as he looked at Alma. He whispered, She has proven that already. Alma turned to him, tears falling silently. But what now? My name is stained. I have nowhere to go. The world thinks I'm a thief. Your mother hates me. Your father doesn't even care what happens to me. And your uncle wants me gone. Kona shook her head slowly. No, my child. Your story is not ending in shame. It is beginning in truth. She reached into her bag and pulled out an envelope. This was written by your mother. She gave it to me with instructions. When the past find my daughter, give her this. Alma took it with trembling hands. Her heart hammered as she opened it. Inside was a small yellowed paper. Her mother's handwriting. Alma read it aloud. My daughter, if you ever face the evil that chased me, know this. You are not weak. You are not alone. And you are not a mistake. I birthed you with purpose. Your voice will break the chains I could not. Your truth will break the man who hunted us. And your courage will open doors I never lived to see. Live, Alma. Shine. Rise. Alma broke down in tears again, but this time not from fear, from strength, from clarity, from destiny. Kweku gently lifted her chin. "Ma," he whispered, "your mother did not die in fear. She died believing you would finish the fight." He held her shoulders. "And I will fight with you." Alma looked into his eyes filled with determination, warmth, and something deeper that made her heart flutter. "You don't have to," she whispered. "I want to," he replied softly. "Alma, you matter to me, more than you know. You are brave, you are strong, and I will stand beside you through everything." Kona's eyes filled with approval. "Your mother would have trusted a man like you," she whispered to Kweku. Alma's heart swelled. For the first time in her life, she didn't feel alone. She felt chosen. She felt seen. She felt loved. A police officer approached them. "Sir, we have a Jay in custody. Investigations have begun. Thanks to your testimony, the evidence you submitted, and Kojo's statement before he was injured, a Jay will face the courts." Alma inhaled shakily. "Meaning, I'm safe." "You're safe," the officer confirmed. "And more than that, you're not guilty of anything." Alma burst into tears again, this time relief. The officer added, "You and Mr. Kweku will need to appear in court as witnesses, but you are protected now, and justice will follow." They watched as a police convoy carried a Jay away. This time, he wasn't smiling. He wasn't threatening. He wasn't powerful. He was defeated, because truth had finally caught up to him. As dawn broke, the rain stopped. Alma stood by the compound gate, looking at the horizon. A new day rising. Kona hugged her tightly. "I will not leave you again," she whispered. "Our family grows strong again." Alma smiled through her tears. "I'm grateful, Andy." Kweku approached her slowly. "Alma, I know tonight was hell. I know your heart is tired. But I want to walk with you into tomorrow. Stand with you. Build something with you." Alma's heart skipped. "Kweku," he took her hand gently. "This is not pity. This is not obligation. This is me choosing you." Alma felt warmth spread through her chest. Not fear, not shame, not guilt, but possibility. She whispered, "I choose you too." Kweku smiled softly, and for the first time since all the chaos began, Alma Sirwa felt the weight lift. Her mother's legacy was not pain. It was power. It was truth. It was destiny. Alma closed her eyes and whispered to the sky, "Thank you, Mama. I will rise." And she did. Do you think Alma and Kweku should build a new life together? Or should Alma focus on rebuilding herself first before entering a relationship? What would you choose if you were Alma?